Christina Comben with Cointelegraph, and we're here in Dubai in the Palazzo Versace with Bryan Benson from Aurum and Brent Fulfer from TVV. We'll start with Bryan. Can you tell us a little bit about Aurum, what you're building, who you're building it for, and why it matters?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for this space. Love Cointelegraph, love what you guys are doing, so thank you. Aurum is a AI finance company, and so that's what I like to say, but no one really understands what that means. And what that really means is we're an ecosystem of diverse different products. So we have an exchange, we have a card program, we have a neobank, and then we also have yield products that lean into AI for execution and management of the funds. And so at its essence, we are a company that's looking to leverage AI to bring better financial results to everyone. And who's it for? That's a great question. It's for everyone really, but it's for people that are looking for a passive income, that are looking for the best tools and services that they can use to safeguard their crypto, to grow it, and to use it in real everyday life. And so, yeah, we're trying to make the best products and services we can. We're bringing RWAs online. We're bringing AI agents online to be able to help with communications on WhatsApp, Telegram, and Instagram. And so we have a wide array of different products that we're rolling out. And I think it's important because, you know, if you would have asked people 5 years ago, what's the leading crypto company? I think you got a lot of blank stares. What's crypto? Maybe, you know, not a lot of answers. I think if you ask that question today, there's some clear leaders, right? And I think the same thing is happening in AI finance. I think if you ask people what's AI finance today, they're like, what does that even mean? What are you talking about? But I think if you ask them in 5 years from now, I think Aurum will be one of those names in the list. And so we're working really hard to create 1,000 millionaires and create a financial unicorn that we can be proud of and that, you know, everyone in the world can use. So that's the idea.
That sounds amazing. It's super interesting. And Brent, can you tell us a little bit about TBV? What have you built and why is it different from other funds?
Absolutely. TBV is the venture arm of TB Group. So we're an early stage fund invested in 24 projects, but what makes us really unique is our events arm called The Best Event, which I think a lot of people in the industry have been to. We've had over 40,000 people come to our events in over 24 cities in 12 countries just in the last year. We partner with some of the biggest names in the industry like OKX, Pudgy Penguins, Blowfin, a lot of other names, and also some of the biggest music festivals, including the Untold Music Festival, which is the third biggest music festival. And we brought the first crypto conference to a music festival last year here in Dubai in November. Have much bigger things planning ahead, and obviously partnering with Aurum on a lot of different things on the investment side, event side, and this year will be a very big year.
Right, that sounds amazing. And obviously AI finance is a big focus for TBV. And you're going deep into Aurum this year. You're coming on as advisors and also investors. Can you explain a little bit about what the ambition is there and what you're looking to achieve with this?
Yeah, well, for us, like as a fund, I think what really differentiates us is our distribution through events and partnerships. And the reality is, if you're a neobank and in the AI infrastructure space, you want to be able to reach a mass audience in a lot of different countries, right? Because our industry is a global industry. You can't just be in one region or have like one area of focus. And so that's like a big part of our partnership together is getting the word out to the key stakeholders in the crypto industry, and also through mass adoption, which comes through events and our bigger partnerships with other larger organizations. So this year, expect to hear Aurum around the world.
Right, that sounds amazing. And for Aurum, what does it mean for you having TBV on the table?
Well, I think it's an amazing opportunity for all of us. First of all, as investors, it's great to have, you know, this caliber of a VC on board. But I think, as Brent said, beyond that, it's the events, it's the network, it's the ability to get our name out there, but not, you know, on a flyer at the Token 2049 show or, you know, some sort of sticker on the escalator. What it is it's the place where people want to go after the events to enjoy themselves, to network, to have fun, to have a drink, dance, and those kinds of things. And I think it's huge because that's where the real stuff happens. You know, I've been to probably, you know, 1,000 events or something, like a ton of events. And I think that when I'm at the events, the conversations are not quite as good as when I'm at the after events and the things in the evening. And so we're just really excited to be a part of the you know, the TB family and be at these events and impact as many people as we can through the work that these, you know, the amazing work that these guys have been doing. So I've been a fan of these guys for a long time, and this is the first time I've met Brent in person. So it's really exciting for us to be a part of it.
Amazing, and for sure, Brent, so how do you, when you're looking to invest in a company, especially in the AI space. How do you separate a very solid company from the hype?
Well, the first thing is, do they have customers? Which is a rare thing in our industry, right? It's usually we're gonna launch a token, here's what it is, gonna go to 1 billion, right? And that's like, we think that era of investing is like over with. Like the reality is now you need to build a product that has a real use case and can actually solve a real problem, right? Aurum already has, I think, 90 million of assets under management on the like trading side of things. So clearly they have like product market fit. And that's what we look to do, is invest in companies that are already at the product market fit stage and are looking to accelerate further on into Series A and beyond, which in our industry, if you look around, Series A's are like very rare compared to like the traditional AI space. And we also believe that most Web3 companies need to have a blended cap table of Web3 and Web2 investors on them, especially in the fintech space. That's another way that we help with our investments and partners that we do, is to bring people together at these events, everywhere from the biggest music festivals to the Mandarin Oriental Penthouse to conferences. That's where like real connections are made, and ultimately how you get these bigger partnerships, larger funding rounds, and bigger distribution networks.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds super interesting. And so, Bryan, obviously AI is developing at a really rapid pace. What can AI do in finance now than say it could do like 2 years ago?
Well, something. I think, if you look back 2 years ago, AI finance wasn't even really a concept, and I think, AI was just coming out. I wasn't using ChatGPT or any of the Claudes or any of those 2 years ago. I think there were people that were, and they were early adopters of it, but I personally wasn't, and I'm an avid tech guy. And so I think, what you're able to do is, my answer sticks. It's something, like today you have an opportunity to invest your money in some sort of yield-bearing product that is actually working, right? And I think that's the first step, is like having products and services, like you said, that have product market fit, that people want to use, and that are starting to show growth in not only, volume, but in user base, right? Those are our key KPIs here. And I think, our monthly active users is basically everyone in our company, right? And when we were at Binance, we had, maybe 30% of them were active users on a monthly or weekly basis, which we track daily, weekly, monthly. And here inside of Aurum, people love it so much that payouts are going out daily, that literally 50,000 plus people, and 97, 8, 9% of those are active every day in the app, not every month, right? And so it's a really amazing opportunity for people to leverage this technology without having to learn it from the ground up. And I think that's the exciting thing about AI, is that it's easy, it's palpable, people can grab onto it and figure out how to use it in a matter of minutes, and that's, I think, the big difference. Is before, maybe 1 year ago, you really had to be a pretty technical person to know how to do that. And now you can go into certain kinds of apps, and we're building it into Aurum, and you can say, hey, I have $1,000. I want 30% of it to be high risk, 10% of it to be this, the other to be that. And in a month from now, update me on how it's going, and let's see where we're at, and maybe we can shift it then. And so you can talk to these things, and in a very simple and easy way, you can accomplish things that before it took a PhD in programming to figure out. And so I think that's the difference here, is it's coming, closer and closer to the everyday person, and it's really easy to use. And that's what we're trying to make, is just take out all the simplicity, all the complexities, and make it as simple as possible, so that anyone on earth with a phone and an internet connection can use these things.
And Brent, can we talk about the moat in fintech AI? What is it exactly? Is the data, the team, something else?
Yeah, moat is a tricky word, I would say, in the crypto payment space, because like ultimately a lot of companies announce partnership. They have this partnership and that partnership with like a MoonPay or like some of these larger financial organizations. But the reality is they have partnerships with like a lot of crypto companies. Like the main thing, especially for us as a fund, is like leading by community first, right? And if you have a rabid fan base, a user base that uses the product like Bryan's talking about every single day. I mean, look at this conference here. It's packed. People are flying in from America, from Asia, from Europe, all over the world to come here for a one-day conference, like a multi-day conference. Shows just like the commitment of the community, and like that's like a key metric that we look for. Because yeah, you can announce partnerships, but like, can you actually get people excited and actually use your product like very often? And like, what's the clear moat of that? And that's what I think Aurum has shown.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And looking at, say, neobanks, Bryan, that took about 10 years to kind of really go mainstream. How long do you think it will take for crypto banking?
Well, I think it's already here. I mean, if you take a look at some of the opportunities out there in the neobank space, I think you can see the Revoluts, the Mondos, the N26, and the new banks in Brazil, which, has an amazing success rate, 70, 80 million users in the first year or two or three. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think you can see these guys starting to bring crypto into their apps, right? And so I think we are a true crypto native, crypto first neobank. And so we have a leg up because we're not bringing crypto into a legacy system and introducing it to people that don't really know about it or aren't sure about it. We're bringing crypto first, and then the rest of the banking experience comes later. And so I think we're flipping it on our head. I think it's going to happen really fast. We launched our neobank app inside of Telegram as a mini app because it was the fastest way that we could go to market. And it's also a very secure platform, and there's a lot of things going on that side. But as I mentioned on the stage, we also are creating the mobile native apps so that people can then download those that don't have anything to do with Aurum, anything to do with our back office, anything to do with our affiliate program, and they can use these products and services as well. So I think the answer is, buckle up, because it's going to happen really fast. And I think the growth that we've seen in the last 3 months inside of Aurum alone is a testament to the appetite of the market to have a true crypto neobank, and I think also regulation is a really tricky thing, right? Because these banks that were regulation first and banks first had to go through the path of regulating before they could offer products and services, right? And in the DeFi world, in the the wild west of blockchains, it's actually the other way around, right? Like, we launch the products and services, and then we figure out the best jurisdictions to where we can slot those in and use them. And so I think you're going to see, in the next 2 years, a huge increase in the amount of users that are coming over from some of these other neobanks into crypto first neobanks. And Aurum's not the only one, but we hope to be the leader in that space.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously they can just move a lot faster, like you said. And I think, Brent, I'd like to ask you the same question. Do you kind of share Bryan's view that you believe it'll be that fast?
I do. I mean, just from a couple of days ago, the Iranian dollar basically collapsed overnight, right? And if you think about the next couple of years, what other countries' currencies are going to collapse, right? With where the markets are going, lots of uncertainty with war and things like that. And the reality is that drives people to crypto. I mean, look at Argentina as an example. The adoption in Argentina with the devaluation of their dollar has been tremendous. Right now, Argentina is one of the hottest markets for crypto adoption in the world. There'll be many other countries following that similar path, and there needs to be options like these type of neo banks that can offer these type of services, because the demand is only going to go up, right? These currencies are not going to start doing better all of a sudden. It's only going to probably get worse for a lot of different countries, and they need alternatives. And that's where I think a lot of neo banks in this industry, and that's where a lot of investments, I think what Bryan was saying about, imagine a big bank like a Chase Bank trying to introduce AI native infrastructure to their users. It's impossible. It's nightmare legacy systems. You need to start from the ground up with the DNA of the company, with AI at the center of crypto infrastructure. So there'll be a wave of investments next several years into this space, and I don't think there'll be a one sole market winner. There will be many winners in different regions, and so I think it's a very fascinating time to be building in this space right now.
Yeah, for sure, super exciting times. And talking about how projects get their financing, for you, Bryan, what would you say was the biggest misconception that builders have about what they think VCs want to see?
Where do we start?
Well, yeah, the biggest misconception is that they want to give you money, right? Literally, that is the biggest misconception, because you're out there, you're battling to get an appointment with these guys, right? And they say, yeah, that's great. And then 6 months later, they say, they send you a 3-letter thing that says, we passed, sorry, or thanks, and at the end of the day, you're working really hard as a small, medium entrepreneur to build a product that you believe in, that's your passion, because if you don't have the passion to build it, it doesn't get built, right? But then you're out there, in the wild trying to find people. And I think the biggest misconception is that you can reach out to VCs and close, right? The only way to, in my experience so far, the only way to get VCs to come to you is to have something that's attractive to them, right? Either, like you said, a product market fit, a user base, a flow, but the best way to do it is to have someone refer you over, right? So if there's another founder that you're close to that can say, hey, Brett, go check out what Bryan's doing. He's a great guy. I worked with him at Binance. I know he can pull this off. That's the best way to do it. So the misconception is that there's all these VCs out there and there's all this money and you can actually get it and it's easy. That's just the opposite of that, right? It's a crap shoot out there, and it's a brawl to even get the appointments, let alone get the second appointment, let alone get a term sheet, let alone get an investment. And so I think just to all those out there, find creative ways to get into the VC that you want to get into, right? Because if you knock on their door, you have to think they have 3, 4, 5, 6,000 opportunities and messages that they have to juggle, and they just can't understand from a simple, hey, do you want to invest in me, what's really going to happen, So I hope that's not offensive to you, Brett, but I think it, I have this part of me that's a little jaded with the VCs, because before I joined Aurum, I have several other really amazing projects, and it was very, very difficult to get the VCs to give us the time of day, let alone, and we had an amazing team, an amazing product, and amazing background. So I think the misconception is that it's easy and but that being said, if you're doing the right thing and you're getting to the right people and you're having the right meetings, eventually, good things happen. So,
yeah, for sure. And of course, Brent, he wasn't talking about you,
Of course.
But from an investor point of view, what's the biggest misconception that VCs have about the crypto space?
That VCs have about the crypto space, I think. So I came from Web2 VC. So I worked in Silicon Valley originally. I worked at some of the biggest syndicates on an angel list. So I've seen hundreds and hundreds of fundraisers over my period of time. What draws a lot of people to crypto VC in particular is the early days, call it 2015 to 2022, where billion-dollar tokens could get launched. And what basically happened after that was LPs came to Web3 funds because they said, wait a minute, traditional VC, I get DPI, or basically I get my money back in a decade after I invest in you. But in crypto, I can get money back in like a year. I mean, it's just basic human psychology. It's like, wait a minute, if I can do that, then yeah, I'm gonna put, so then all this money went into crypto, then FTX blew up, right? And a lot of people made so much money from 2015 to 2022 that they I forget what the psychological term is, but they're still like in that mindset of like, those days are still here. And the reality is, I think it's a better environment now, because now you have to actually have a real product, have revenue, get used almost like a Web2 company, but then you can still eventually launch a token if you want, because you have a base. And that's the biggest misconception, is a lot of fund managers who maybe didn't make money from building a company before, but made money through trading, then became fund managers and thought, wait a minute, if I invest, I get money back in a year. And it's like, no, the market has shifted. Now you're more important a 2 to 4 year time horizon to get any type of returns from an investment. And I think a lot of funds will phase out this year, a lot phased out last year. And now it's about companies that can actually build products and find the right funds that are on that same timeline of not like, hey, I invest in you and like do a TG in like a year. Like those days are kind of gone.
Yeah, sure. So longer time horizons, and generally the crypto space is growing up.
Yeah. And to be clear, a 2 to 4 year time horizon to get your money back is still incredible in terms of VC return profiles. You invest in AI, any other space, you're looking at a decade. So it's still good. It's just not as quick as it used to be.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and then one final question that I'm going to ask for both of you. If the Cointelegraph audience was to take away just one thing from our conversation, what would you like that to be?
I think take AI finance seriously, right? A lot of people, back in the days of crypto, a lot of people were screaming from the top of their lungs, it's money laundering tech, and it's, the criminals using it. And I think while criminals use the best technology, that's not what the technology was about, right? And so to lump everything into one sort of bucket doesn't make any sense. And I think the same thing is happening with AI finance. Like you see people saying, wait, AI can't figure finance out. That's bullshit. And so I think that's probably, to me, the thing that I would lean into is we have a real opportunity here, and we need to continue to show people that we're building real products, real services, real companies in this space, and that's what's going to take off.
Amazing. And for you, Brent?
Not to be too shameless here, but I think more people need to get out of their house and go to events and meet people in person. And I think the industry post-pandemic has come back like a lot with that. I mean, the numbers at every conference are going up and up, but the reality is if you're building, you're investing, you want to get a job at a crypto company, you need to come to events. Obviously you can come to our events, but just like in general, stay away from like the main conferences for the most part, of course, attend and whatnot. But like the key is you want to get in the rooms with the right people in different countries and go to more and more events and meet people. And you never know who you're going to meet. I've had so many founders meet their lead investor at our event, meet their co-founder, meet their head developer. And that's the serendipity of events, why we're so bullish on it as like well. And I think a lot more people are doing it, but just as a reminder, we have event season coming up. There's a lot of events, consensus, token, everything. And I hope to see people there.
Amazing. Thank you both very much, guys. It sounds like a super exciting year ahead for both of you. So best of luck.
Can I ask you a question?
For sure.
What do you think of AI finance?
I guess originally I was quite slow to come around to AI, but I'm starting to see more and more the benefits of it. I'm very new where these things are concerned, so I found our conversation super interesting, and I'm definitely going to be watching the developments.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.